All right, so this is the Sanders League of Unpaid Film Critics, and tonight we're reviewing Cabaret. Cabaret is a 1972 American musical period drama film directed by Bob Fosse from a screenplay by Jay Allen. It stars Liza Minnelli, Michael York, Helmut Griem, Marisa Berenson, and Joel Grey. In the traditional manner of musical theater, most major characters in the stage and version sing to express their emotions in advance of the plot. In the film, however, the musical numbers are almost entirely diegetic. Does anybody know what that means?
Yeah.
Well, die usually means two, so
We'll go, Donna, tell us what it is then. I mean, I have it up, but
Well, what I know is that they sing because they're in the theater where you would normally hear a song.
It's a style of fiction storytelling in which a participating narrator offers an on-site, often interior view of the scene to the reader.
right, like it's a narrative or something.
Yeah.
I was looking at it earlier, but anyway, so true, that's what they did, right? The plot: in 1931 Berlin, young openly promiscuous American Sally Bowles performs at the Kit Kat Club. New British arrival in the city, Brian Roberts moves into the boarding house where Sally lives, and they have a relationship, and things like that. Blah blah blah. So the historical basis of this film is based on Christopher Isherwood's semi-autobiographical stories about Weimarian Berlin during the Jazz Age. In 1929, Isherwood moved to Berlin in order to pursue life as an openly gay man and to enjoy the city's libertine nightlife. So the movie had several controversies. It dealt with corruption, sexual ambiguity, false dreams, and Nazism. It was the movie had many accolades. It holds a record for winning 8 Academy Awards, but not winning the Best Picture. and Liza Minnelli won Best Actress. Noel Grey won Best Supporting Actor. So I think,
Did Godfather win that year?
yeah.
is that what it was? I didn't look that up.
I think so. Yeah.
So I think the thing that was intriguing to me was Joel Grey's performance. It's like different than I thought it would be. I had never seen it before. I just kind of remembered it being popular and all that, and so anyways, so Joel's great performance. I looked up actually what AI is saying about Joel Grey these days. But it said Joel Grey's performance as the master of ceremonies in the musical Cabaret has been described as iconic and won him a Tony and an Oscar. However, some critics have described his portrayal as creepy and alarming. So that's kind of what I thought.
He was supposed to be.
And your point.
Yeah.
Face behind me. Yeah. His job was to engage the audience. So
Well, yeah, I mean, you could make that argument that he was supposed to be, but I think the other guys didn't play it that way in the Broadway plays and stuff like that. But I mean, I thought his performance was great. So it's the summary I did. I said I would have liked to have been more mature when I saw it in 1972. My main memories is that it won all those awards back then with and made Liza Minnelli pretty much a household name. Although, I mean, Sterile Cuckoo, I sort of remember that too. That's another one of these movies I didn't see, but And to me, I mean, I'm reflecting on my thoughts in 72. Joel Gray, you know, he looked like he was poised to be a big star. And I know his daughter, she went on to do Dirty Dancing, but I don't know that Joel Gray did a lot more. And the main song Cabaret kind of painted the film as being a bright and joyful movie, I thought, but it was far from that, really. So,
Yeah.
so I thought it touched a lot of subject matters, but never really dove deep into any of them. But it brought them to light, and maybe that was good enough in that time. But with the brilliant acting performances and the music that was with it, I thought it was a really good movie, and one I'm glad to review tonight. So that's kind of my summary on it. Like to hear what everybody else has to say on this playoff baseball night.
Yeah. And Chiefs game night.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Playoff baseball night.
Oh, well, excuse me. Okay.
Um,
One thing that I learned is that this film is a musical about cabaret, but a cabaret performance is not a musical.
that's correct.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, I get that. I may not know the meaning of that other word. What is it? Diegetic or something like that. I still don't understand that, but directed by Bob Fosse, one of the most outstanding talents for jazz dance routines ever.
Oh,
Yeah, he's played so many films, and gosh, whatever he does, you know, it's going to be outstanding. But I didn't realize that this was about, you know, they had the Nazism in it so much until, you know, I studied it a little bit more, and I went, oh, wow. The only thing that I remember is the guy that was running the cabaret kicked the Nazi army guy, or whatever you want to call him, out of the theater. But then he went out there and they killed him. You know, he just beat him up, and I thought, oh wow, I'm missing something here. So I was glad to read, you know, a lot more about that, and I enjoyed the characters. You know, Brian Robertson, I think, and then you had Max, you know, the multimillionaire that was doing everybody, and so that was interesting. He had some nice gifts for for Sally, but yeah, it was interesting for me, probably from a historical standpoint more than anything else. So
wow.
That's what I liked about it too, was the historical aspect and the Nazis, kind of how they were inserting themselves in the lives of all the people who lived there. I had never seen it either, and I'm not a huge Liza Minnelli fan, but it was okay. You know, I got through it. But no, I did like the historical. But a lot of promiscuity going around.
Yes.
I actually thought, my memory of it was that there was going to be a lot more Nazism into it, you know. But if you think about 1931, I mean, Hitler was hardly.
It's right before Hitler gets into real power, but it's coming. You know, it's coming up. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. I think it's still pertinent. When you think about what's happening today, I think it's really pertinent. But there's so many reasons why. Bob Fosse, like you said, Chris, Bob Fosse is phenomenal dancer. But what he did here that changed it from every other musical, like you said, Bill, is that the songs were sung. Most people, you know, a lot of people don't like old time musicals because, you know, they'll break into song, they'll be talking to their girl, and then all of a sudden they'll break into song. Where this one, the songs were only sung on the stage. So that's where you saw the whole musical, but the rest of the show, except you know, it's regular talking and the actual story. The one scene, however, that, in my opinion, one of the most powerful scenes is when you have that close-up of that blonde-haired, blue-eyed child of 15 years old singing "Tomorrow Belongs to Me," and the camera pans slowly out and you start seeing, you know, you see all these people laughing, and they're at a festival and they're laughing and having a great time and loving him singing this song. And then when they pull out and you see that he's a Nazi youth, you went, oh my God. Yeah. The opening scene where you kind of see that distorted mirror, and what you were saying, Jeff, is that when you look in that distorted mirror, there's like one in the back, you kind of see a Nazi symbol in the back, but just one. And at the end, where they tie it all together at the very end, where that same mirror and the entire audience is almost all Nazi. I just think I think it was just so well done. 1972, so they bring in bisexuality, which, you know, gay and bisexual at that time is not even, you know, you never even said the word, you know, much less, I mean, hardly. And you were looked upon, you know, so I thought, you know, brought things up that, you know, people weren't talking about. But the biggest thing was the Nazism. It's how that being apathetic, being just going for today, you know, life is a cabaret, and just be, you know, and don't care about what's going on around you. Just care about yourself and your pleasures. And so it's one of my, just really one of my all-time favorites, because I love the music. I love her singing. I loved her jazz hands. That's where she really uses her jazz hands. Of course, that's Fosse. And her dancing. And even the camera work. If you remember, when she's on stage, the camera is looking through legs. You know, it's looking, it's not just, you're almost like you're part of the audience, and you're in the audience watching Sally on there using those props that Fosse does so well, using the chair, you know, the chair as a prop. So yes, I'm so glad you picked this, Phil. I love this movie, and I do think it's pertinent to today, you know, that people aren't thinking about what could possibly be happening, and, you know, and just, you know, let's just play. So anyway, yes.
He's getting ready to stay in Germany, and because it's a liberal society.
Right.
And he's going to be
Isherwood?
He's going to be crushed.
Hey, Mary.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like, Donna, since you brought up the "Tomorrow Belongs to Me" scene, the scene that struck me, or the shot that struck me in that, is at the end, where you can see the audience that starts out being sort of ambivalent about what this kid is singing, save for an older man who, I think from the get-go, even when people start to turn and sing, he's sitting there just with his mug of beer, and he's got a, you know, kind of disturbed look on his face. And towards the end of that, they cut in for 2 or 3 seconds with a real quick shot of the master of ceremony, Joel Gray's character. And is he supposed to be there, or is he a secret Nazi sympathizer? I mean, because he's got sort of a look of acknowledgement on his face. Right. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, well, I think he was very ambiguous into, you know, what side was he on? You know,
yeah, he's on whatever side it's, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can come to a conclusion as to, you know, where.
Well,
wait, hold on a second. When he sings the one song and about the gorilla with the gorilla girl,
right?
And he says, "At least she's not a Jew."
Right.
That's when you sort of you're like, I was thinking he was, like Bill talked about, he was a libertine. He was, you know, he was not, you know, he wasn't taking any kind of a political. And then it's like, but maybe he is, and that's why I think all that, it's almost like a rictus, you know, the way his facial contortions happen. Yeah. That it's very, you know, I think at least the way Joel Gray played it, the Master of Ceremonies, there's a lot of ambiguity about what he really stands for.
Well, yeah, I think because he kind of, remember, he's the Master of Ceremony. He's the one that kind of pulls all the strings of all the people on stage. He's the master. And being the master, he kind of looks at the audience and decides, what does that audience want from me that they will love me, you know? And I think it starts out he doesn't care about, you know, doesn't even care that much about the politics. And then as it continues on and he sees things changing, he's, I think, willing to change with them and to just kind of go, okay, that's what's happening. Then I'm going to go, you know, he wants to be with whoever is the winner. He has no of his own. I don't think he has any feelings. I think he just wants to go with whoever is winning at the time.
I think including him in that set of shots during the "Tomorrow Belongs to Me" scene, where he's got a look of acknowledgement or acceptance of it in his face in there, and it looks like it comes out of nowhere because it doesn't look like he's in that scene. It doesn't look like he's at that beer.
Right? They cut to the to the Kit Kat club.
I think that's where, you know, he reveals himself as at least a Nazi sympathizer.
Right,
so,
right.
Which and that whole scene about "Tomorrow Belongs to Me" just gave me shivers. It just
yes, it's
all the
so
blue
powerful.
Eyes. Oh
yeah.
Oh my, such a good-looking kid, and
well, did I misunderstand the scene? Because I thought initially when he first started singing, people were looking at him with like some disgust or fear. But gradually, as he kept singing, they kind of gave in and started singing it themselves, like they were giving in to Nazism themselves.
Yeah, I think that's exactly
did I not see that correctly?
No, I think that's what the scene was supposed to represent, was the acquiescence of the German population to what was happening with the government. I mean,
and then Max thinking that we can control them.
You know? Yeah. They say that earlier in the film, and then I think at the end of that scene, Michael York's character says, "Well, you still think you can control them?" No, I mean when Hitler took power and discarded the Weimar Republic, he was the leader of a minority government. Okay, they had a third, maybe 40% of the German parliament, the Bundestag at that time, and then he simply outlawed his opposition.
Who does that sound like?
Exactly. I mean, I think this is more prescient 52 years later than it was 10 years after it came out. It's kind of, I was going to say it's kind of scary. It's more than kind of scary. It's alarming.
It is.
The musical part of it for me, what I started to pick up on, I had seen this many years ago, and I too think it's a phenomenal movie. But so often the musical interludes were almost foreshadowing the next thing to happen.
Yeah.
Like when Joel Grey and the two women with the sheet, and they're doing the 2-in-1, and then in the very next scene it's Brian and Sally and Max, which we learn not too much after that they actually are they're a throuple. But there were other times too when at one point when Joel Grey smears some dirt under his nose to make it look like he's got a Hitler mustache, and the money makes the world go round, and then she meets Max, and so I think they use the music in many ways just as a way either to do it like a juxtaposition of two things or to foreshadow, and I thought that was really very well done. in the way the movie was paced and sort of the
Yeah.
release of information, you know, what's happening and what's coming.
Yeah, that's good.
Had anyone ever read I shouldn't say had to, but I did read Isherwood when I was an undergrad. And you know, again, he's kind of that same era, that Jazz Age era, as you know, Fitzgerald and Hemingway and Steinbeck, but he's nothing at all. Of course, they're American and he's British,
Yeah.
but nothing at all like them. But he's of that same era. And the Berlin Stories, which is the
original, yeah.
Well, that's how it was packaged in the United States. Actually, the original, when it was in the UK.
I Am a Camera or something.
No, it was called Goodbye to Berlin.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
It's those same stories, but Isherwood is an incredible writer, and a lot of his stuff is in a sense like Hemingway, that it's shorter, you know, he went to Cambridge, but he was friends with, you know, W.H. Auden and Cecil Day-Lewis, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis's father, who was also a poet and a novelist. And then he came to the United States, and he befriended Truman Capote. So Isherwood's really a fairly interesting character, and a great writer too. So.
I know there was another film. It's called I Am a Camera, and Julie Harris plays Sally Bowles. And it's not really a musical. I couldn't see it. I didn't see it. I just saw little snippets from it, and it's just interesting because the Sally Bowles character that she plays is same, you know, she's a singer, but she's not talented, where Liza Minnelli, of course, is really talented. Or, you know, Sally Bowles by Liza Minnelli is a talented singer, and Sally Bowles in the I Am a Camera is not. So it's kind of interesting. Just another version. And I guess the version in New York now, and I haven't seen it, but Eddie Redmayne plays Joel Grey's character. And as soon as you walk into the theater, it's like you're walking into the Kit Kat Club. You get a drink, you get a little, you know, there are little tables around, like cabaret seating, you know, little tables. So I think that would be a real interesting show to see in New York.
One thing that I read that I like is Liza went to her father, Vincente Minnelli.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce his first name exactly, but she says, I went to my father and asked him, what can you tell me about 1930s glamour? Should I be emulating Marlene Dietrich or something? And he said, no, study everything you can about Louise Brooks.
Louise Brooks, yeah.
Yeah, and Louise Brooks was the one that first portrayed Sally Bowles.
Okay.
And apparently did it the best.
I wonder how many times she's been portrayed, Sally Bowles. A lot?
Are you sure? I didn't know that she portrayed her. She did? Because Louise Brooks is the 20s. Am I right? Louise Brooks is in,
it says a flapper, icon, and sex symbol of the Jazz Age.
yeah, probably 20s or 30s, yeah, in that range. You know, and she had real big eyes, and she had dark hair. She wore that kind of bob, but it was a real straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think she portrayed Sally Bowles, did she? You're just saying the character, a character like Sally Bowles.
Yeah, she went. She
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you.
Her dad urged her to. She wanted to research somebody, not research Dietrich, but research the other woman.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying. I thought you were saying she played the character Sally Bowles.
Well, I thought she did too, but I'm rereading this, and she did not. But she was most like her.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
How did you like her haircut?
Oh yeah,
looks great on Liza.
little
Yeah.
thing down there, yeah, the little, whatever.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, one time they were showing her face and her hair just came, it just followed her eyebrows. You
Mhm.
know, perfect.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I've never seen that look before, but kind of hard.
Well, remember Vidal Sassoon? And wasn't that like 60s, wasn't it? Sassoon, Val, remembered? You don't remember. I think Sassoon is the one that did that haircut too. It's they had the real angular, short, angular cuts.
Well, didn't
Yeah,
Minnelli keep a version of that haircut for most of her career?
Yes, yes, she did. And it really worked for her, I thought. Always
Yeah.
worked for her.
kind of like behind Jeff Copeland. You can see some of it there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
That stuff.
yeah, with the little spit curl.
Well, that looks kind of like a 20s haircut to
Yeah.
me, but
Mhm.
what do I know? We're in a different set of 20s now.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it's like the late 1900s. Yeah.
The facial expressions, like the ones behind Chris, are striking. And Joel Grey has the ability to open his eyes, or had the ability to open his eyes extremely, so you could see a lot of the sclera above his pupils. And Liza Minnelli's eyes are giant too. And if you look at her mouth and her eyes are so wide open, it's kind of like a caricature of somebody. But their facial features they used to great effect, I thought. And Joel Grey, oh man, what an outrageous performance. He was a chameleon. He could put on anything. He could become a man, a woman, androgynous person, and just kind of, he would get up in the face of the audience and kind of jumped on that lady one time and kind of terrorized her, but she was having fun at the same time. He was quite something. He was huge in we were talking about how he didn't make such a big film career, but he was a huge Broadway actor, right? If I understand
stage
correctly.
actor.
Yeah, that's how I remember him too. Much more on Broadway than film career.
Right.
And some actors look down their nose at the film industry because the real actors are on Broadway. Everybody's got their own opinion.
He looking at his Wikipedia, it looks like television. He had more things in television than he had in either film or theater.
Did he have his own show?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
Was he on variety shows? Is that what he was on?
Looks like it. I mean, he shows up in Maverick, Matlock, even Star Trek. He was in a Star Trek. So he just
really. Oh well, Star Trek I could see, but
I don't see anything where he was like the main guy. It looks like he was just an episode or two.
Bit parts.
But I mean, it had pretty healthy resume in all three.
I always think about his daughter, whose career was ended sort of abruptly by her rhinoplasty, I think.
Yeah.
She had kind of a cute appearance in Dirty Dancing, and then she had a rhinoplasty and looked like everybody else. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Why do we care about her? That was strange, I thought.
That was. It was.
And she was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She was Ferris's sister.
His sister, yeah.
She was Ferris's sister. Yeah.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
great. I thought she was great in that. When she's at the police station. Who was the actor that was the juvenile delinquent that was Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
That was a
They
great
had a repartee going there.
Right, right. And then when the crazy principal breaks into their house and she, goes off on him. Yeah. Anyway,
Another good show.
You're right. I think Dirty Dancing was kind of her,
Yes, yeah, it was great. And then
Not too
it
much.
ended, yeah. And she was so attractive. She didn't need to get the nose job, yeah.
But we're still talking about her. So
Yeah.
There
in
we
some
go.
ways, she made a huge success.
Yeah, true.
What'd you think of the ending? I mean, she ends up staying instead of going
Yes.
with him. and
Yes, yeah.
That I guess is just a like a the way the script was from the other shows, you know. But you sort of felt like she was going to make the choice to go with him. But I was a little surprised she stayed.
Yeah.
Also getting squashed by, you know, Nazism.
But I don't think she even recognized that. You know, again, she was still in that kind of the realm of I just want to do what I want to do for me and not thinking about what's going on outside the hey.
Hi, Gary.
Oh my God, what time is it?
Oh boy.
You're muted.
You're muted.
The Chinese won't allow audio stacking.
That's it.
How's it now?
Yes. Good.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Sorry, I didn't mean to
there?
interrupt. It's 8:30 in the morning.
Ah,
Huh?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, what movie are you guys discussing?
Cabaret.
Cabaret.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
Yes, yes. Both the movie and various stage versions of it. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. And I can't stick around long, but I wanted to just drop in and say hello. We just left Hong Kong. We're on the South China Sea. And have we discussed The Last Emperor in our club before? You
Not
remember?
since I've been here.
I don't think so.
Okay. So we went to the Forbidden City a couple days ago in Beijing, and it was all shot there, and it won for best Academy Award back in whatever it was, 97, something like that. So I may recommend that because it was all shot there. Anyway, I'll just listen and butt out. See ya.
Well, in all your versions of watching Cabaret, what are your thoughts on it? Because we've all kind of
well, I think it was my takeaway was it was a little bit of joy in the midst of a bunch of tragedy and hate. It was a little bit of escapism at a very dark time. That was my takeaway from it.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary, didn't and the stage version, and again, I keep trying to, because I had also seen it the stage a couple times. Isn't the ending? Doesn't somebody die at the end, or is killed or murdered at the very end? What I remember more is that the audience is shocked, that they don't start to clap right away. They are in shock, and I think they're. But I can't remember exactly what it was. I'd have to go back to a script or something but I kind of remember someone being.
Yeah, I think it has a dark ending. Yes.
Yeah, it's much darker than the movie.
Right.
Because movie, she just ends up, being back in the.
She's singing, but at the very end of the song, it slows down and the background music becomes discordant, and then you see like you say in the
distorted mirror, yeah,
that you see how many Nazis are in the audience, and I mean it's basically to me that the message is doom at the end, even though she's singing, it's not joyful at all.
Well, it's kind of a happy song.
No, but I think compared to the stage version, I think the stage version really brings that up. And I don't remember exactly how they do it, but I know it's darker. Let me put that, darker. Yeah, that was good.
I think that's all I remember is, that the song and knowing that these famous, in 1972, these famous people were in it and they won lots of Academy Awards. and Cabaret was such a happy song. I just figured it was a happy show. I didn't pay much attention to it. And it was kind of in that time period where, it's like, if you don't see it when it comes out, it could be a long time before you get back to it. And that's what happened to me. So over the years, I always thought it was probably a pretty happy little show,
Well, I just looked at, it says at the end of in the final scene, the MC removes his outer clothes to reveal a striped uniform of the type worn by the internees in concentration camps.
Ah,
And
that's
on it
right.
is pinned a yellow badge identifying Jews, a red star marking communists and socialists, and a pink triangle denoting homosexuals.
Yes, that's it.
What it says.
Yes.
That's at the end of the stage play or the stage musical.
Yes.
That's how it
Yeah.
ends. So he isn't killed, but it's like he's going to die because he's in a
Yeah, because yes. Now that you bring that up, that's exactly, and it's really powerful as well.
So most of the people that are portrayed in the movie, they're all enemies of the state in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not Liza Minnelli's character. I mean,
well, possibly, because she's,
it goes
possibly.
along.
But they didn't like theater, but the Cabaret is a little different.
Yeah.
Thinking back to Inglourious Bastards, a lot of that revolved around the movie theater, and so I think there was some kind of enjoyment of clubs and stuff like that even during the Nazi era. This is the portrayal I've gotten from film. I have no idea if that's true, but it seems like they enjoyed a good time and some beers and stuff, but as Nazi comrades more than as normal people.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting to go back to Inglourious Bastards and rewatch that final scene to see if it had any resemblance at all to the theater in this movie.
Yeah,
because I mean, Quentin Tarantino, he loved the 70s, right? Lots of his stuff comes through from the 70s.
He borrowed with fervor.
Anyway, well, that's all I had on it. If anybody's else has got anything.
Well, the Hitler regime made lots of use of film. They were very 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 Riesenthal, and some others. I mean, she's the most famous one. But I mean, they were German filmmakers were pretty avant-garde in the 20s and 30s before the Nazis, and then the Nazis embraced film as a effective form of propaganda.
Right.
All right. Well, there goes Gary.
Yeah, we lost Gary.
It's pretty cool to be coming in from China, though.
True.
And there was really no delay.
No.
It's like it was real time.
I wanted to ask him, since it was 8:30 on Tuesday morning over there, who won the Royals game.
Oh, and then you go to what's that gambling place? Don't they have it like on TV?
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, there's some sort of gambling. That was a sting. That was the same thing. Figured out who won and bet them.
So, was Jeff supposed to pick the movie for next week?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did already?
Yeah, he well,
Shutter Island.
Shutter Island.
Shutter Island.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
What was it?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Shutter Island.
Shutter Island.
That's DiCaprio, isn't it?
Yeah. I need some water. Excuse me.
Does that put me in the shoot for the next one?
It does.
because Bill chose this one.
Mhm.
Uh-oh. All
Correct.
right. Homework.
Stuff to do.
Yep, you'll be up next
Mhm.
on the 14th, and then Donna, Mike Mahoney on the 28th, Mattson on the 4th, I'm on the 11th. Karen's on the 18th. This is into November. And then we're going to skip a week because of Thanksgiving. And Gary, I think he'll be back home December 2nd. Jeff Arthur, December 9th. And then Bill, you'll be December 16th. And that takes us to the end of the year that we'll jump then into January, taking those weeks off for Christmas and New Year's. If I've got this figured out correctly.
Sounds right.
Sounds good to me.
No, does it? Okay, well, we'll check it as we get closer to the dates and see, because I did make one big mess up, but I fixed it, I think.
Well, I won't be here next Monday. I have a friend who's coming into town. And the only time we could get our schedules to match up is on Monday. So I will be otherwise occupied, but I'll be back the following Monday. So
Hey, since I joined late, Donna, what's your situation as far as the hurricane?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's coming. It's coming as a
Let me turn
direct
off the
hit
recording.
here, and we're just,